Hello family, and a big welcome to my YouTube channel where it's your go-to space for clarity, information and opportunities around the diaspora. And this week we got exciting news that we want to share with you in this video. We all heard that Scotland has actually proposed, and keyword proposed, to sponsor specifically foreign care workers to Scotland. There's nothing that can be more exciting. And remember, for those of you that have been with us on this platform for a long time, I spoke about the back door for care worker visa when it was cancelled in July of 2025. I spoke about its potential comeback. If you haven't watched that video, you need to go and watch this video. But this is only a proposal, but it's exciting. At least all the things that we've been saying, us as migrants and also other stakeholders in the care sector have been saying about the cancellation of the care worker visa, how it would affect industry itself, and we are already seeing the effects of it. And thank goodness Scotland is actually contemplating opening its doors to sponsor foreign workers. So that's what we're going to be unpacking in this video. And before we pack our bags for Edinburgh, there are a few things that we need to unpack, because there's a difference between hope and hype. And on this platform, we don't sugarcoat anything and we don't want to hype things, because it's still a proposal. It's what they are intending to do. But what is exciting about this whole thing is the fact that the intention is there. They've seen that they need foreign care workers and they're already proposing. So we're going to be going into detail as to what's going to happen going forward. What are the fine lines and what are all the loopholes that they have to go through before they can finally start sponsoring foreign care workers to come to the UK. But at least it's a glimpse of hope. If you are watching this platform, if you are watching from abroad, if you're a caregiver and you are abroad, this could be the news that we're waiting for. This could be the opportunity that is for you. If you missed last time to come to the UK as a caregiver, then this could be your opportunity. So all the more reasons why you need to stay on this platform, because we're going to be giving you as and when it comes, and if it comes into effect, then you're guaranteed that on this platform we will talk about it. We'll talk about all the things that you need. And remember, if you're ever going to come to the UK on any skilled worker visa or any economic migration visa, you would need to have a higher level of English. And on this platform, we've talked about my journey writing IELTS. And if this comes into effect, we're going to be taking on people for classes with their IELTS journey. So all the more reasons you need to stay part and parcel of this community. So without taking much of your time, let's get right into it. So here is what's been happening. Scotland's first Prime Minister, John Sweeney, announced earlier this week that they were looking into the Scottish government really sponsoring on their own independently foreign care workers to come and work in the struggling care industry in Scotland. And as most of you know, the UK is composed of 4 countries, which is Scotland, England, Wales and Northern Ireland. And most of these decisions are made here in England, and they tend to affect some of these countries. But Scotland has come out and said, well, they are planning on sponsoring. The government is planning on sponsoring foreign care workers to boost their industry. Their care industry is struggling, which means it's the care sector, it's care homes, it's support work, it's their hospitals. And they are wanting to really take matters into their own hands and start sponsoring care workers. So this is some form of lifeline, especially for most of the foreign care workers who are in limbo as far as their status in the country is concerned. People that have had their visas revoked, people who have had their care companies closed, and of course they could still have their visas, but they're out of work. They're looking into absorbing those people. They haven't been clear as to whether or not they will be taking from overseas, considering that the care worker visa itself has been shut. But remember, I did a video where I said they've got the shortage skills list. They proposed that if the industries are struggling, they could lob the Migration Advisory Commission mark to say, well, we need staff in this industry. They would open up a pathway, which is time limiting. We don't know how they will come up with this, but it's been on the cards, and I spoke about it earlier in July when all these changes were happening. And so the first Prime Minister of Scotland has actually made it so clear in their conference there on last week that they want to sponsor the foreign care workers to come and work specifically in Scotland. So this could be a lifeline for most care workers, especially those that are already in the country, those that are already in the UK. And we all know if it's government funding all of this, sponsoring these care workers, it's going to be structured, it's going to be orderly, it's going to be more professionally handled, and which is what we're looking for, because we all know, we've always spoken about what a mess the care worker visa has been, all the things that happened around it. We don't want to go into details in this video, but we all know it's out there, it's in the public domain, what chaos it was. But now that this government is proposing, hopefully this will be welcomed with open hands from different other governments or other arms of the government in the UK, and really give it a go, because it looks lucrative. It looks like a lifetime for most care workers, for most foreign workers, to really continue to stay and live in the country legally. The question on everybody's lips is, so what happens now, or when does it all happen? This is only a proposal. Scotland has shown its intention. They were quite direct and deliberate about what they want. They've shown leadership. They've shown that they value migrant labor force, especially in the care sector. However, we all know that migration is a reserved matter. So all the decisions around immigration lies with the Home Office, which means it's the Home Office, which is in Westminster, which is the government in England, that gets to decide whether or not that is possible. But I think they're going to push, and it's a fact. Winter is around the corner. It's a fact. The care industry is still struggling. Health and care sector is still needing people, is still needing the workforce, despite all the things that have been happening. So here is what will happen. It's subject to approval by the government in England, in Westminster. Also, part and parcel of all of this is around sponsorship. We all know if they are to take migrant labor force into their care industry, they would need sponsor licenses. So most of these Scottish care institutions will need to acquire sponsor licenses. Again, this is subject to approval by the licensing board, which is UK based, which is Westminster based again. So it's all of these things to iron out. The other thing that is on the cards as well, until we know, is the fact of funding. Who will be funding what? The Scottish government didn't quite come out in the open as to who will be funding all this, because as we all know, sponsorship comes with funding. That's why it's been such a big mess. A lot of people have just been messing about with money. So all of that, again, need to be ironed out. If this is going to be a smooth transition, then definitely all these things need to be ironed out. But what I can assure you, or what is exciting about this whole thing, is the fact that they've registered intent. They've shown that that's what they want. It's a very touchy subject, but it's a solution. And if one is a migrant like myself, we see opportunity, we see options. And I've been talking to a lot of people who are struggling, a lot of people who are anxious and in limbo about their visa status, about their sponsor licenses. They are just neither here nor there. So this is actually good news. And if you're already in the country and you're not sure about whether or not you'll still be sponsored by your current employer, now is the time for you to start being on top of your paperwork, on top of your skills and qualifications, so that when this thing opens, when this thing rolls out, you are just right on the go with your applications. Now is the time for you to be working on your CV, working on your cover letter, and just waiting for when this rolls out, and then you can start applying. And I live in the north, and I've been to Scotland a few times. Beautiful country, beautiful people, and I'm sure opportunities there will be as good. So there it is. In the Prime Minister message, I saw three things that were quite key. I saw hope. The fact that regional governments like Scotland are actually seeing migrants for the value that they bring, for how critical and how important they are. We are not just being ignored, but we are being factored into the conversations around policy, and we're being embraced. So I see hope in that. I see hope in a lot of things. And again, there's never a video that I'm going to make about these policies and about changes and about opportunities and not talk about the indefinite leave to remain and how that comes into play. Why? It's because I'm on the same path as well. And when I see positive things around migrants, especially in the care sector, and how they contribute and how they are quite key, I see a bit of hope. Because again, we're still waiting on the criteria of who is going to move onto the 10-year path or who is going to stay. So this remains quite key. Again, the other thing I saw is possibility for a lot of things, because if the Scottish government is going to be the sponsoring organization instead of private companies, then the chances of abuse, the chances of modern day slavery are slimmer. And I see a possibility there. I see also stability going forward. It will be better if you're being sponsored by the government, by reputable and credible institutions such as the government or such as the adult social care services, rather than being sponsored by an individual company that is being run different from the next company, different from the next organization. Even to rally around standards and follow a set standard or a set list will be easier if it's the government that is sponsoring. So if you're already in the country, if you're already in the UK on a care worker visa and you are in limbo, this is the one thing that we're hoping and praying that it goes through. We'll keep our fingers crossed for this one because it's exciting news. It is a bit of light at the end of the tunnel for care workers in the country already. Last but not least, what is it that we can do? Again, I always say this, we are building a community where we support each other to really stay supported in the desperate, because we know it can be very cold out here. It can be very anxiety filled out here. It can be depressing out here with all these changes happening. So there are things that you can actually do. One of those things is to stay informed, stay on top of information. And one best way to do so is to stay on this platform. So do subscribe if you haven't done so, and put the notification bell as a thumbs up so that we can reach as many people as we can with a message of hope, a message of opportunities, a message of encouragement, especially in the face of change. The other thing that you have to do is build on your experiences. It's going to be very key going forward. If you're going to maximize on such opportunities, you need to be highly competent, highly suitable for the industry, prepared in every way that you can think. So take seriously all the training that you're receiving in-house. Keep on top of the training, keep on top of your qualifications where you can get as much skill set as you can so that you stay competitive when the opportunities does open. Also seeking legal advice. I always mention the Tulia group is doing amazing work, especially for our Zimbabwean community. Reach out to them and ask questions. Attend they do have these monthly sessions where they support migrants. So reach out to their page, go and follow their page on Facebook, and you can get all these updates and follow them and stay informed is the message. Last but not least, one of the very things that you need to do if you're a caregiver, especially if you're a migrant, especially and you're watching this video, is to keep your eyes peeled on Scotland. Let's keep our eyes focused on Scotland because big things are about to happen there. Opportunities are about to open up, and opportunities that are long-term, that are secure, that gives hope and value, that will make people feel valued, not just be living where you're just feeling like as per will. No. So let's keep our eyes on Scotland. So this is one of those stories that will give you hope, that will tell you that even in the face of all these changes, all those immigration policy changes going on about in the country, change is always in motion. There are always things that will come and that will favor us. And like I always said, this opportunity for caregivers opened up because of Brexit. So it doesn't mean implementing one policy closes everything. It might open up other pathways. And when I look at this, I do hope that I've got hope that other councils and other regions will begin to see that they need to include migrant workers in their workforce. So let's keep our fingers crossed on this one. That's all I had for you in this video. Let's stay informed. Let's stay prayed up. Let's stay informed and preparing so that when the opportunity, it might take long. That's a fact, because with all the things that we mentioned, where they have to go through the parliament or the government in Westminster, it looks like it's going to take long, but eventually it will come into effect. Long can be weeks, can be months, can be years, but we hope in the immediate future this pathway does open, and it's not too bad really relocating whereby you're being sponsored by the actual government. It's structured, it's more in control, it's more well funded. So we do hope these are the opportunities that we prayed for. These are the opportunities that we're waiting for. And let's keep our eyes on Scotland and let's stay prepared in every way that we can. That's all I had for you in this video. If you found this video very helpful and very informative, give us a thumbs up so that our videos can reach a lot of people with the desperate journey, with the opportunities journey, and with all the current information, all the changes around prospective opportunities that we can grab in these turbulent times immigration wise. We continue to give you updates. We continue as well to encourage you and to give each other hope. As I share hope with you, I'm also encouraged Why do I say that? It's because I live this. I'm in this very situation and I'm affected in every way that you can think of, because I live here with my family. I relocated on a care worker visa. I relocated on a skilled worker visa, and I am still in limbo because I haven't got my indefinite leave to remain either. So we are in this together, and let's journey together. Let's build a community that looks at opportunities, that support each other, and that help each other. That's all I had for you in this video. I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now. Take care.